Up with Jordan and Ron.
Welcome to Hooking Up with Jordan and Ron. I'm Jordan, and Ron is present. He is across from me. And we also have a great friend today who is a big-time Disney friend, big-time travel friend, close family friend, which really is what you get out of Ann Arbor most of the time. But our friend Allison Perlman, who goes by Allie most of the time, can we call you Allie today?
Yes.
Is here with us as well. Allie, how are you doing?
I'm good. No, I'm really good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you guys. It's fun to do something like this.
Yes. And
Now tell me, do we go by Perlman or Mertzman?
oh, sorry, it's okay.
No, I go by Mertzman because we did change my last name, but it used to be Perlman. So there you go.
Okay, cool. Well, my last name's Ferrario. I kept it because it's cooler than Spencer, which is my maiden name, but I'm divorced. So it's a little different. It's a different storyline than your storyline.
I still really like this story.
We'll keep Ron's last name a secret for now, but you might know it already. I'm just kidding. So, Ron, why don't you kick us off?
So we've all known Allie, well, for ages. I've known her since she was like 11, 12, 13, something like that. You know, her kids' ages. I've known her since about that age, you know, and her sister and other family members as well. And we couldn't wait to get her on our podcast to talk a little bit about life. So Allie is another one of those folks that grew up here in Ann Arbor, then moved and had a successful life elsewhere, and then moved back. And maybe let's start there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Ann Arbor and knew Jordan growing up. I was actually really good friends with her sister, Colby, and I met Colby during Ron and my first show, which was Grease. And that's how I got to know these two. And then I moved out to California, and I lived in California for 15 years and tried to be an actress, failed at being an actress, but succeeded at being a content creator, which is a whole other ballgame, but super fun and definitely in the creative field. And I enjoy doing that. And then I also own a travel agency, and we have a shared love for Disney, and it's really fun.
What's the name of your travel agency?
Oh, it's Adventures with Allison Wonderland.
So definitely look that up, and she'll get you hooked up for your trips to Disney, California or Florida or Universal. What if I want to go to SeaWorld, or what if I want to go to like one of the other attractions?
I wish I could, but I can't. They actually don't even let you book them as like a travel agent, which is always really interesting.
Good
Yeah.
to know. Okay. So then when you're booking these things, I mean, do you, and you're doing the social media work in tandem, do you have people helping you? I mean, how does that work? Like, are you doing this all on your own?
That's a great question. And yeah, I do it all on my own. I should have a team. I mean, I have a manager for content creation just because to do brand deals and things like that.
They help you make contacts and stuff.
Yeah. So I have different entities. I have like an LLC for my like travel agency, and then I have an S Corp actually for my content creation. Eventually I'll put them both together because it doesn't make any sense to have like two completely separate small businesses, logically, tax-wise. But yeah.
Okay, interesting. And all the while, you have a wife and 2 kids, and that probably really fills your time. Do you have time for friends as well?
Yes. I am not huge. I find that like sleep is at the bottom of my like priorities list. But yeah, no, I love spending time with my friends, and even though I have to schedule it sometimes a month in advance, I'll still do it and I'll show up unless like I'm sick or a kid is sick, you know. Emergencies happen, but for the most part, yeah, I can maintain friendships during this too.
So you may notice a noticeable gap here as we're talking today. We're all talking in one microphone today because something's up with our software, not our hardware. But so I was one of those people that got to benefit from Allison's corporation and her visiting Disney and Universal every time she'd come to Disney World while I was living down there. I'd get a call saying, "Hey, you want to go to Universal, or you want to go to Magic Kingdom, or whatever?" And it was like really awesome. Where did this love of Disney start for you?
That's a great question. My mom actually took us, well, my parents, but we would go every year during spring break. And we would stay at the Fort Wilderness campground. And so it was, $29 a night to stay in a tent. And we just had the best time. I have the most magical memories from it. It was a time that was very together with my family, and it was so focused on us as kids. There was no life stuff, and I think that I love giving back to my kids in the same kind of way. And so I can't help but share it.
Wow, I love that. So, what are some of the best, latest things that you are seeing in your work? Like whether it's hotels, whether it's attractions, at either of the park systems?
That's a really good question. They have the 70th right now at Disneyland, and there is an animatronic attraction that is replacing Moments with Abe Lincoln, and it's Walt Disney. And it is the first attraction that is an animatronic of Walt Disney. It's his real voice, and it's him showing you Disneyland. It's so that's probably the thing I'm most excited about. I'm going to see that in November, and then they've got the new Starlight Parade that's happening at Magic Kingdom. They've got Test Track, 15.0 coming. They've redone Test Track many times. That's opening. So yeah, they have a lot of really exciting stuff. And of course, the holidays are coming up. So we've got Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Christmas Party. And we have a lot of really fun things. The holidays at Disney World are my favorite. So
Mine too. Even when I lived there, that was my favorite time of year. I ended up with an unexpected staycation last week. Yeah, because I had planned to go to Disney, not this 4th of July weekend, but the weekend before that. And looking at the weather report, they had monsoon weather the entire weekend. It never stopped raining Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm like, when I lived there, I never went to the parks when it rained. Well, I'm not going to fly down there to go to the parks in the rain. So I didn't. Now, we talked a little bit about Perlman Mertzman, right? What's that all about?
So my maiden name is Perlman. My wife's maiden name is Mertz. And we decided, people jokingly just called us the Mertzmans. And, it kind of stuck. And so we ended up legally changing it. And it's nice because our kids share a last name with us and we have the same last name. And I don't think either of us were that willing to give it up just because Mertz was such a prominent part of Leanne's life. She was an athlete, she played at Oregon, and they called her Mertz. So for her, she didn't really want to give that up. For me, my SAG name is Perlman, and so I do have kind of a little past there. So anytime I work under my acting name, it's Allison Perlman. So I think we found a nice little kind of in between for that.
It's really cool to share that. So when you think about your move to Ann Arbor and just the dynamics of the world today, what are some things that brought you here as an adult?
Our family. I mean, that was probably the largest one. And California really is such a fast pace, which is great when you're young and 24. But I just turned 40 and I have kids that are 7 and 9, and they really just didn't want to be in that lifestyle anymore. It's a lot of traffic, a lot of noise, a lot of light pollution and regular pollution. And I think that they were tired of it. They missed my parents. We missed my parents. And there was a lot of life stuff that happened in the last 15 years that we kind of decided to reorganize our life, realize what our priorities were. Sleep's at the bottom of it, but my parents are at the top of it.
Yeah, I know that you have a very tight family. For a while, I lived in their backyard. Not literally in their backyard, but our backyards abutted, basically, and I know that there's always family things going on there. I assume the kids have adjusted pretty well back to Ann Arbor. And one of the topics that we've had here is a lot of the folks that we've had on have returned to Ann Arbor from somewhere else, be it Chicago, be it Boston, be it wherever. What's it been like for you? I mean, personally, I probably have an inner circle of about maybe 10 people, and then an outer circle here in Ann Arbor and Adrian, where I do a lot of directing and stuff of oh my God, hundreds, if not thousands of people. In Florida, I had an inner circle of 3 and an outer circle of maybe 9. So I never found that niche down there. What's it like for you here back in Ann Arbor as an adult and returning with kids and married and returning to a very different life than LA?
I think the fact that I spend so much time on social media, I have been able to maintain bonds really easily. So my location has never been a factor in my relationships with people, especially since I travel a ton. I travel a ton for work, both social media and travel agency wise. And so because of that, I find that it's really easy to maintain friendships. I find that even my friends that live in town, I have to see them once a month. And sometimes I'm seeing my friends in Florida more often just because of my travel schedule. So it's interesting how really social media has changed that for me, especially.
Do you think that that your kids are noticing things from your travel or from your from Leanne's work? Because is she an attorney? Is that correct? Okay, that's different, and they're thinking, I want to do that, or I want to do this. Like, do they talk about what they want to be when they grow up?
Yes. So my oldest wants to be an engineer that works on roller coasters, really wants to work on, or rides in general, and wants to make it so that rides don't have those breakdowns. And I was like, you will make a ton of money if you can find a way to have a ride not make a breakdown. Um, so that's what my oldest is. My youngest says she wants to be a mommy and a travel planner just like me, which is really sweet. And she would be a great mom. She has like 15 baby dolls that she takes care of on a regular basis. So,
Traveling, you're going to Disney, you're going to California, you're going to these conventions, you're meeting with your employees. Um, it, how, how do you really do it? Like, how do you really schedule it?
well, I take ADHD medication. That's one of them. I drink a lot of coffee, and yeah, I usually go to bed around 1 or 2 at night, and then I'm up about 7:38 in the morning, and I don't really sleep in on the weekends. I don't like to sleep in too late. That's not I It's not the best utilization of my time, but I have found that I am a neurodivergent human being who is far more interested in the world than I am in sleep. And my mom, as a baby, I did not sleep really. And as a kid, I didn't really sleep much. I birthed another child who is just like me. And it's been quite a time, but like I get it too. We're just super interested. There's a lot for me to see and do. And I have just completely leaned into that.
That's really cool. I am pretty different from that and really debate about like how much time do I need in the morning to do XYZ, feed the cats, go to the bathroom before I need to hop on a first Zoom call, let alone questioning whether or not I need to sleep in on the weekend. The answer is yes, and I'd say 9 or 10 hours is so great if I can get it, but I usually get 8. But if you ever need sleep lessons or nap lessons, I'm your person. If you're looking for that information.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. One time I like wrote out everything I did in a day and it kind of freaked me out a little. So when people are like, why don't you just write a to-do list? And I'm like, I don't want to do that. It overwhelms me to think of how much I have to do. And so I don't to just keep moving. And so for me, I'm just kind of, like forward motion is a much better thing. When I think about like what I did this morning, I dropped off my child. I watered my mom's plants. I picked up her eggs. I picked up her mail. I also then did a client call for 45 minutes and I got them 3 quotes and I had a meeting with my manager. I also had drafts due. I edited, shot a video, edited a video, turned in that draft. I have one more that I still need to edit. And then I did work for agency. So it's constant and my brain just doesn't really shut off. So that's like a hard thing. Eventually I just pass out because as a human, you need to sleep. So I will eventually sleep.
Do you find now that you're back here that you are spending more time doing stuff or less time doing stuff? So, I journal. I always journal. I journal every day and I kind of take a look at, I went back, no, not long ago and took a look at, a year and a half ago when I moved back. And I was reading some of my stuff from Florida that says, walk dog, ran into neighbor, just met them. I'd lived there for like a year and had just met my neighbor. Nothing on schedule today. Going out to Ford's Garage for dinner, might go to Disney tonight, and that was about it. And here I look at my day and go, oh my gosh, saw 3 clients, had lunch with Colby, had breakfast with another friend, did a meeting, called 6 people, organized my office, did whatever. I'm finding I do way more here. And you, as a person whose work was very, very much located at Disney, around Disney, do you find that you're working more now to make up for that? Or do you find that you're able to relax more here? Or what is it like socially for you here as a person back in Ann Arbor?
I love that. I find that my work hasn't changed just because my work has always been online through the computer. I've always been home based. So my base changed, but my work did not. However, I find that I have a much easier social life here. So I do find that I will see people more often. And when I say more often, I at least see people once a month rather than every 3 months. Just location, I don't have to sit in traffic for things, and it makes it a lot easier.
I do like that, even when I'm running late for the podcast, and Ron knows I'm somewhere nearby. But we're going to wrap up here in a second, and I wonder if there's anything we haven't asked about or brought up yet that is top of mind for you in life right now that you'd want to share about, whether it's ideas you have or things you're dealing with or, things you're interested in sharing with others.
Honestly, you should go to Epic Universe because it's amazing at Universal. Don't forget to get your mammogram. Make sure to check yourself the first of the month. I'm a breast cancer survivor, which we didn't even get into. So I'm a breast cancer survivor. Pay attention to your body and drink your water. Don't forget to drink your water.
Now we're going to have Allie back because there's so much more to talk about here. Not the least of which is, theater and other things and mammograms and life and all those things that get hurled in our way, right? But we have loved having you on, so we'll be happy to have you back,
Thank you.
In the meantime, I've been keeping busy. I know Jordan's been keeping very busy. Yeah, so you may find that the podcast is a little bit further in between episodes currently because Jordan's back to a full-time schedule and I'm kind of back to an evening schedule where I'm directing shows and things. And so we have to find times that we can actually record. Allie might be more available than we are to do our next recording. I know, isn't that unusual? But hang in there. We'll absolutely keep recording. We haven't gone anywhere. Life has just changed slightly,
And send your ideas. Send your ideas, send your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you and better understand who else we should connect with. We don't know everything about Ann Arbor, and we'd love to hear from you, even if in surrounding communities. So take a look at what else is going on out there and keep us in mind for your future podcasts. That didn't really make sense.
Here's something to keep in mind as well before we go. Yeah, I can't end it on Jordan's final sentence that ran out of air. I think it ran out of air. Yeah. Hey, I just, some of you may know me as Movie Ron from 102.9 W4 Country. And I just had the privilege over the last 3 weeks of helping judge 102.9 Idol. Hey, next summer, if you're a singer, if you do karaoke, go. Look at the schedule, sign up, go sing. They're big prizes. We had super talented people. And it's really, really fun. Yeah, I had a great time doing that, and we had a really terrific winner. But something to keep in mind for next summer. If you like doing that, you can go to the karaoke's around town and warm up. You can do it at Cirque, right? And warm up and get yourself ready, and we'll see you next summer for that. Meanwhile, tune in to 102.9 at 7 a.m. on Friday mornings to hear my review. This week we're talking Superman. By the time you hear this, we may be talking Fantastic Four, but I'm going to try to get this posted today. But we thank Allie for being with us, and we'll have her on again.